So there's been a recent spate of Bud Light, Nike. They've hired this trans influencer.
Is he even officially trans?
Yes,
Okay.
Dylan
Because
Mulvaney.
I thought maybe he's just grifting. I mean, why does he still have a masculine, or is Dylan
He's
to
had some
be?
surgeries to like
Oh
change his
yeah.
jawline, so I guess we
Oh
can
okay.
officially
That's
say he's
pretty.
trans.
That's pretty serious. Yeah.
So they've hired this trans influencer to be, just a endorser. Number one, I don't. This person just switched to being trans just a year ago. There's other people who are way more invested in this. Why is this person getting all this play? I don't understand.
I gotta say, I can't stand this person, but if I'm trying to be objective as possible, he does have like a good energy about him. He's like got a really kind of positive energy.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
yeah.
I won't argue
But
with you.
it's really hard for me to say that. But
I know.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm not
But
gonna
like
say he's a. I'm not gonna
he's
say
got
he's
some
an
talent,
evil human being. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
that.
He's got some talent, is I
I'm
guess what
just,
I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. It seems like he has like some singing talent too.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna talk about the macro situation. So, Nike, Bud Light, of all things, they are partnering, and a lot of people are rightfully confused. If you're not paying attention to what's been going on in the culture war, you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. It might be just puzzling to you, right? But essentially what's happening is big companies, you might be wondering, what does Bud Light have to gain from
Yeah,
this? It
exactly.
seems so
Like is this
controversial,
actually helping their sales? Yeah.
but
It doesn't
dude,
pass the
Scott, like
sniff test. Yeah. Because it's like
do people who are in line with the trans ideology, how many of them are really drinking Bud Light, right?
yeah.
It
Well,
doesn't
also, I
seem
mean,
to.
just by common sense, it seems like you're alienating a bunch of your customers as well. So,
Right, right. It would seem a more logical business move to just not really talk about this sort of stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
So
And that just seems self-evident. Like
it
that's
does. However, what people from the outside using this sort of common sense logic, they do not understand. What they do not understand is behind the scene, there are things like DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, ESG, what is
there's a
that?
new I
Equity,
never
sustainability,
governance. Yeah.
governance, right?
Yeah.
So what this means is that investors, big investors like BlackRock, Vanguard, the people who control your money, essentially, they've come up with these systems to grade companies. And companies, they're behooved to try to score high because if you don't, then the big money doesn't want to invest in you. And when the big money doesn't want to invest in you, what does that mean? Well, that means maybe your stock price goes down. That means like the value of your company goes down. And if you're the CEO of a company,
Yeah,
I don't
stock
know.
price is one of the main metrics
Yeah.
probably.
Who's your boss when you're CEO? The board. And the board represents the shareholders. And the shareholders, what do they really care about? They care about the profits of your company. Yes, they do, but only as a function in as much as that impacts the share price. So when these big players such as BlackRock and Vanguard, when they speak, people listen because they control where money flows.
Yeah, what's kind of weird about that is, you would think they would make these decisions based on business and economic considerations. It's weird that they now have the wiggle
Well,
room to,
either either
consider, yeah,
either they really care about these issues, like they're true believers, or
yeah.
there's something more insidious behind it, like a great reset or a reordering of society or whatever, like the conspiracy theorists would want to say, right? So one or the other, I would say. Either they do just genuinely care about these issues, or, and I'm in this camp, they feel like it is of a benefit to the elite, the richest in society, to create these dividing lines.
Yeah, yeah. That's the key word, dividing.
Yeah. So they want to make some people feel like their neighbors or they're bigots or whatever, and everybody ignores the rich guy in the corner, right?
Yep.
Who really pulls the strings. And they just say, well, my neighbor, he doesn't agree with trans rights, so he's the problem. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. There's this guy that you're not even thinking of in the corner who controls all the money, who has made companies create these dividing lines to separate, and you're just falling for it.
It's a really selfish and kind of short-sighted view, just because, because meanwhile, China, right?
Yeah.
It's
Meanwhile,
like,
China, exactly.
yeah,
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about rich people. Here's the thing about rich people. Even if, and I don't want to dox myself, but like my uncle is one of these fucking rich people, right? There was a time when if you were of Taiwanese origin, you didn't do business with China because, like, naturally, Taiwanese don't like China, right?
Right, right.
But when push came to shove and China became a major economic player, what did
Yeah.
he do?
Also, I think Taiwan's conditions may have worsened.
Yes. But also, what did he do as an individual rich person?
I
Now he does
imagine. Yeah.
business in China. Back to the title of what this topic was. If you want to push back against this whole bullshit system, what you need to do is take your money out of mutual funds, out of 401ks, take your money,
Well, even index funds. You
index
gotta take,
funds.
yeah, you gotta take it out of
Well,
funds,
mutual
period.
funds and index funds, same thing.
Yeah.
Take your money out of things that manage your money for you, essentially, right?
Yep. Yep.
If you want to invest in a company, you need to buy that particular company stock. So just say,
Exactly.
I want
Yeah.
to invest in Tesla. So you got to buy Tesla. And even if you want to, let's say, spread the risk around,
You could still do
that's
it. Yeah.
fine. That's fine. That's a totally fair desire. I agree. But you need to just do the homework and just buy a variety of stocks, right?
Yeah.
Do not let a BlackRock or a Vanguard invest your money for you. And I know that's painful to say because for much of my life, I've had a very, very high opinion of Vanguard. Originally, Vanguard was founded in order to make like index fund investing for the average person more accessible because that was the safest way, the smartest way for the regular person to invest. I mean, I've done it. I put my money in VTI, but you shouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. It's just gotten too big.
You give your money, and you may think, oh, it's not much. My life savings is only $100,000. My 401k is only $100,000. Yeah, but their whole fund is made up of people like you,
If
right?
this happened, the world would change in a day. I mean, it's
And
like
then and then Larry Fink, he controls, I'm not even fucking underestimating it. He controls like 8 to 12 trillion dollars of
ridiculous.
your shit. So all of you people who just have 100, it's just a quote unquote just $100,000. You know what I will liken it to is the robber baron era, the Carnegie, Rockefeller, like when Americans were truly fucking rich, right? The turn of the 19th century, right?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, at some point, I think Rockefeller controlled 2% of the GDP. Can you imagine? That'd be fucking massive now, right?
Mhm.
For one human being to control 2% of the GDP.
Yeah.
But all of these people, you know who they still had to answer to? JP Morgan. And you know why? Because he wasn't as rich as them, but he controlled the voting shares of so many companies through his bank.
Mm.
He was really the one in charge, right? So there were rich people who today would be like a trillionaire, right? Like
Yeah.
Rockefeller would be a trillionaire today. Andrew Carnegie would be maybe a trillionaire today. And yet even these people, they still had to sort of answer to one other person. Where you put your money, it's almost like giving that person, whoever and whatever entity you put your money with, it's like giving them your vote.
Yeah.
So you think your vote for president matters? You think your vote for Congress matters? I'm not saying it doesn't. It does. It absolutely does, and you should vote. However, you don't think about the vote that your money is making.
Yep.
The vote with your money is making matters just as much, if not more. But you don't think about it, do you? Chances are it's like in, Vanguard or Merrill Lynch, right? Where's your mutual fund? Or BlackRock? Your
Yeah.
mutual fund's in one of these places. They're like, what? There's only so many big companies that do mutual funds. I guarantee it's in one of these places. They control your vote. They are using your money to leverage their own interests. And you need to think about that.
Enforce their agenda, basically.
Imagine if you have a company and BlackRock owns 20% of your company and they tell you, we're going to dump all of your fucking stock tomorrow if you don't do X. What is X? Who knows? Hire Dylan Mulvaney to be your next spokesman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Who knows whatever it is they're asking,
They
right?
pretty much, yeah, they got you at gunpoint.